There's 5 main reasons why 99% of people that fail on Amazon fail. And if you can avoid these, you can almost guarantee that you're gonna have success. And I'm gonna start with the most common reason why so many people fail on Amazon. Then I'm gonna share with you the secret to finding a profitable product on Amazon. I'm also gonna share with you some absolutely amazing free Amazon FBA tools that you should be using, including some free Amazon FBA product research tools. But at the end of this video, I'm gonna share with you the #1 most important tip, the most important thing I've learned in the last 8 years of being a full-time e-commerce entrepreneur. I'm gonna share with you at the end of this video. And if you listen to this advice, it can almost guarantee that you're gonna have success on Amazon. Let's get started with #1, but first make sure to smash the like button because I made a lot of mistakes that you can avoid just by watching this video. The first reason, and by far the most common reason I see so many people fail with Amazon, with e-commerce, with entrepreneurship, is because they never start. And I understand this feeling. I suffer from analysis paralysis, and this kills so many entrepreneurs before they even start. The problem is people get stuck trying to be perfect, trying to launch the perfect product, making sure that every single thing is perfect, trying not to make any mistakes. But here's one of the most important things. It's impossible not to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes if you want to become an entrepreneur. In fact, that's okay. And in the long run, making mistakes is actually okay. You learn from those mistakes. In fact, your goal should be to make mistakes as fast as possible. Let me give you an example. My product makes $10,000 profit per month. And when I first started on Amazon, I'd find myself negotiating with different suppliers, trying to get my price down by $1,000, which would cause me to delay the launch of my product by a month. So I basically saved $1,000, but what happened is I lost out on 1 month's worth of profit because if I would have launched a month earlier, that would have been an extra $10,000 in my pocket. So I lost $9,000 by trying to be perfect. In fact, a lot of times, even if you make a huge mistake, you can recover from it. For instance, even if I would have messed up an entire production run that cost me $30,000, but I was able to get my product out 6 months earlier, let's say, well, every month I would have made $10,000 by getting my product out earlier. So I would have made $60,000. Sure, I would have lost $30,000 on a bad production run, but net profit over those 6 months, I would have made an extra $30,000. And $30,000 is better than having nothing by delaying and trying to make everything perfect. And the truth is, if you launch a product and there are problems, you usually can fix this or at least break even. For instance, I launched jars of performance nut butter. I spent $10,000 on a production run and I was only able to sell 1,000 of them because turns out the lids were leaking. But what happened is those 1,000 jars that I sold, each one made me a profit after the Amazon fees of $10. So I ended up making back my money, even though I ended up having to throw away 1,000 jars and it ended up not being a profitable product. I broke even, and on top of that, I learned a very valuable lesson. And for me with my Amazon business, over the last 3 years, I've made $100,000 profit every single year. So if I would have never launched my Amazon business, I would have lost $400,000. And I want that to really sink in. If you do not launch your Amazon business, you are losing money. In fact, every day that goes by, you're losing $100, $200, $300, and the human brain isn't wired to think about things like this. We're wired to avoid loss. We don't want to spend money. We don't want to make mistakes. But the biggest mistake you can make with entrepreneurship is not getting started. 99% of people don't start. If you can start and just take little baby steps every day, you're going to be way ahead of everybody else, and your chance of success will go from 0% if you never start to pretty close to 100% if you actually start and you keep going. Because even the people that do start, a good percentage of them, they do a little bit of product research, they dabble a little bit, but they never really follow through. And I think if you follow through, and sure, if your first product doesn't work out, if you learn from it and you launch a product, and if maybe that one doesn't work out, you launch a third product, you're eventually almost 100% gonna have success if you can learn from your mistakes over time. Now, before I go to #2 and share with you exactly how you can find a perfect product, a profitable product that's gonna be something that you're actually gonna love working on it, do me a favor and leave a comment down below. If you started your Amazon business, what got you over the fear? What got you over the hump? And if you haven't started yet, what is holding you back? Leave a comment down below. But the second mistake I see so many people making with Amazon is they try to sell a really bad product on Amazon. Now again, I think it's better to sell a bad product on Amazon than no product on Amazon, because even if you're selling a bad product, you're still learning the process of what it's like to sell on the Amazon platform, and you're gonna learn from those mistakes in the long run. But if you want to have success with Amazon, don't sell a bad product. So let me define for you what makes a bad product. Now, the first thing I'll say is do not private label. For the last few years, there's been this whole movement of private labeling, and you know what? It did work 3, 4, 5 years ago. But right now, if you go on Alibaba and you just buy a random product, slap your brand on it, which is what private labeling is, and try to sell it on Amazon, you're gonna get crushed. Even if you have a little bit of success in the short run, what's gonna happen is China's gonna come in, they're gonna undercut you, they're gonna make that same product for a lot cheaper because they are the manufacturer, and you're probably in the long run not gonna have success. So what should you do instead? Well, for one, you need to create a brand. If you're just trying to slap a generic brand on some kind of a private label product, it's absolutely not gonna work. But if you can create a real brand, and when I say brand, like I said, it's not just a sticker on a product, it means a following, it means real loyal fans, maybe it means social media, maybe it means influencers talking about your product. And this is one of the reasons why my product had so much success is before I ever launched it on Amazon, I started posting about it on Instagram. I started collecting emails. I got a Facebook group where people would give me feedback on my logo, on the design of my product, and I really created a product with a strong brand identity. So from day one of listing my product on Amazon, I got a bunch of sales. I got all my raving fans to leave a bunch of reviews, which led to Amazon putting my product higher up in the search listings, which led to more sales and more reviews, which just snowballed into eventually, by my second month of selling this product on Amazon, I was doing over $30,000 per month in revenue. Now that's something that China doesn't understand. They can't create brands as well as you can. They can't create social media or create movements and raving fans as good as you can. So that's a big advantage you have. Now, the advantage that China has is they can produce products for really cheap. So if you're trying to compete on price, good luck. China can almost always do it for cheaper. What you should be trying to do right now is creating a brand, but also trying to sell a premium product. Sell the best product that's out there, because China, again, they can do something that's cheaper than you, but what you can do is have that product that people actually believe in, that they want to support. Another thing that you can do that China is not very good at is figuring out what's the next trend. What's the big thing that's happening? Again, with performance nut butter, I saw that people were getting into the ketogenic diet. And so I decided to pick a product that's in this growing trend of a market. Now, that's not the same thing as trendy products. Don't do the next fidget spinner. Don't try to sell hoverboards or all these little things that are kind of a blip and then they're gone. Try to find things that are long-term trending upwards. And the advantage that you have is you understand this culture, and ideally, the product that you should be selling on Amazon is a product that you wish existed, something that does not yet exist in the world that you want to create. A great example of this is I worked with AJ, and AJ was a bartender for 10 years, and during the middle of the pandemic last year, he found himself without a job. And people were asking him for different cocktail recipes, and I helped him come up with this idea of, hey, why don't you create a set of flashcards teaching people how to create cocktails? And he did this, and he took this idea, and what he ended up doing was in 24 hours, he ended up raising over $20,000 on Indiegogo. Now, that's something that China can't do. They can't create a brand as good as AJ can. AJ actually understands what the customers want. Sure, could they create a crappier knockoff version that's gonna be of lower quality? Yeah, but AJ is always gonna be able to charge more money for his product because it's the best product, it's gonna have brand recognition, and he's gonna get more sales and reviews in the long run. And I'm gonna share with you some tools that you can use to find a product that you're actually passionate about, that you're actually excited, because if you're selling something that you actually understand as a customer and that you're excited to work on every day, it's gonna be fun. That's when I first started Performance Nut Butter. It didn't feel like work. I was actually really enjoying every moment of it. But before I share with you some of those free tools, do me a favor and leave a comment down below. If you could sell anything, what would you sell? Like, what are you passionate about? What's something that you could wake up every day and want to work on? Leave that comment down below. But before we get into some of these different free tools, we should talk about the other reason so many people fail on Amazon. It's because they create bad listings. And I see this all the time in consultation sessions I do with different Amazon sellers. A lot of times, if they have a product, if it's a good product and they're not having success, it's because their listing just sucks. And there's a lot of different reasons why a listing might suck. Let's go in order of probably most important. So most important to me is the main image. If you have a bad main image, good luck. Title is probably second, though I think title is not nearly as important as the main image. I'd say also all the other images. When someone sees your listing in the search results, all they really have to go by is the main image, the title, the number of reviews, and the price. And out of those, the easiest ones to change are the main image and the title. So first, start with those two. But once someone clicks on your listing, they're gonna look at all the other images. They're gonna look at the Q&A section. They're gonna look at the bullet points. Make sure that you have all this dialed in. I'll link a video I did that goes in depth on how to create the perfect Amazon listing. But if your listing isn't good, people aren't going to buy from it. Remember, when people are buying things online, they can't hold it in their hand. They don't know what it's gonna be like to own this product. So your job is to make them feel comfortable. Your job is to answer any questions they have, but also to sell all the benefits on why your product is so amazing. And here's the truth, Amazon makes this so easy. When I first started in e-commerce 8 years ago, I wasn't selling on Amazon. I was selling on my own website. And when someone would come to my website, it was my job to try to get them to trust my website and to actually make a purchase, which is extremely hard to do if it's your own website. But the cool thing is Amazon has so much trust, and the conversion rate on an Amazon listing is 10 to 30%, where a typical website is 1 to 3%. So if you're selling on Amazon, really take your time to craft an amazing listing. And again, Amazon makes it so easy. That brings me to mistake number 4. And the fourth biggest mistake I see people making when it comes to Amazon is they're not using tools. And here's the thing, you don't need to necessarily pay for these tools. I'm gonna talk about a lot of free tools. But as humans, we evolved to be able to use tools to multiply our efforts, to multiply our force and our impact in the world. And when I first started out in entrepreneurship, I was so cheap, I didn't want to spend money on any kind of software, any kind of tool. I would end up spending hours and hours doing things that a software program could do a lot more efficiently and a lot better and would end up saving me a lot of time, but I was too cheap to spend $5, $10, $20 on the software program, so I ended up wasting a lot of time. Now again, I'm gonna share with you some different free tools, but I get a lot of people coming to me and saying, Travis, I can't find a product to sell on Amazon. And I say, hey, maybe it's worth investing a little bit of money in a product research tool so you can find a product that you're gonna sell on Amazon for the next several years. Now, again, there's a bunch of different free methods. I'll link up here a video I did, a complete product research tutorial video. You can check that out. Now, you can use things like Google Ads or Google Trends to try to figure out what's the upcoming trends, what people are searching for in Google. But there's also tools like Helium 10 to tell you what people are searching for in Amazon. And again, oftentimes you don't necessarily need these tools, but usually they will save you time. There are a lot of other tools that solve the most common problems that sellers have. For instance, a lot of people tell me, hey, I can't find a manufacturer for my product. And Helium 10 actually just released a feature that will help you find a manufacturer. All you have to do is go to Amazon and type in a product that's similar to the kind of product that you want to sell. For instance, let's say you're David, who's part of the Passion Product Formula, and you want to create the ultimate gym bag. What you can do, go to Amazon, type in gym bag, and then you go to the Helium 10 Chrome extension, click on X-ray, and click on source on Alibaba. You can then add filters like how long the manufacturer has been on Alibaba, what their price is, what their minimum order quantity is, and much more, and it will give you all the different manufacturing companies on Alibaba. Now, a pro tip is to click on the manufacturers that you like, actually go to Alibaba and message them and ask if they can customize whatever item you're trying to sell. Again, you don't want to just find a product off Alibaba and slap your brand on it, but a lot of times these manufacturers can customize the product, they can make it better, and you can do things like David did and take an ordinary plain gym bag and turn it into something absolutely amazing. Before we get into mistake number 5, which is the most important part of this entire video, I do have a link in the description where if you sign up with Helium 10, you do get 50% off, and I do get a kickback from Helium 10 for that. But the truth is, I'm in a competition with Helium 10 to try to get the most comments on a video possible. So do me a favor and leave 1, 2, 3, 4 comments on this video. And if I win, I'll do a 2-hour long live Q&A answering all your questions. So feel free to put as many questions in the comments down below as you can, and I will do a YouTube live answering all your questions. And this leads me to mistake number 5, and all the other mistakes I've talked about can easily be fixed if you can just do this one thing. And this is something that took me so long to understand. Let me explain. We as humans are social creatures. We're tribal creatures. We're not meant to do things alone. We're not meant to try to tackle big challenges alone. We're meant to do it in a group, in a tribe, around other people. In fact, we learn from other people better than we learn from any other thing. And I said earlier in this video, one of the fastest ways to have success is to make mistakes. But what's so beautiful about humans is we can learn from other people's mistakes. So my number one tip, and the biggest reason why so many people fail, is because they try to do it alone. A lot of my success started to happen when I started surrounding myself with other successful people. I found people that were mentors to me, people that had more experience than I did, that knew things that I didn't. I also found people that were at the same level as me, and we were able to trade secrets, trade ideas, and give each other encouragement. And so many entrepreneurs fail because they do it by themselves. And let me tell you right now, entrepreneurship is extremely lonely if you're trying to do it by yourself. But if you can learn from other people, you're gonna have success so much faster. My mentor actually calls it an interdimensional slingshot. Imagine that, when you surround yourself with a tribe and you have people that know more than you do, or even just know different things than you do, they're pulling you back and they're shooting you up higher and faster to success. And it's because I struggled so long with e-commerce, with Amazon FBA, and it took me so long to figure all these things out that I decided to do an Amazon FBA training program. And a big part of this is not only do people that join learn from me, but I also set up everybody that joins with other students that they can collaborate with, that they can learn from, because everybody knows something that you don't know. And if you can learn from other people, your path to success is a lot shorter. And I just opened up this training and there's not a lot of spots left. It comes with weekly Q&As. It comes with private one-on-one calls with me. It comes with a lifetime access to a private Facebook group, a private community of other Amazon sellers that are dedicated to having success. And it comes with a lot of other stuff, like a bunch of step-by-step pre-recorded videos. It's everything I wish I would have had when I first started. And I'm closing registration next Tuesday, but there is a 30-day free trial. So I'd highly recommend, if you're interested, join before the spots fill up, join before it closes. And if for any reason it's not for you, you can always just send me an email and I'll give you 100% of your money back. But I don't know when or if I'm gonna reopen it. If I do, for anybody watching this video in the future, I'll link to a wait list down here, but it's probably not gonna be for a little while. So if you're interested in joining, click here and I hope to see you in the program.